Good morning. My name is Sriram. I'm studying engineering in mechanical and my metric card ID is 420100227D. Now I'm going to explain about green technology. Green technology, also known as sustainable technology, takes into account the long and short-term impact something has on the environment. Green products are by definition environmentally friendly. Energy efficiency, recycling, health and safety concerns are renewable resources and more all go into the making of a green product or technology. The topic that I chose to present is about green energy. What is green energy? Green energy is a term of energy that comes from renewable sources. Green energy is often referred to as clean, sustainable, or renewable energy. The production of green energy doesn't release toxic greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, meaning it causes little or no environmental impact. Green energy got its name because it comes from natural resources provided to us by the earth. The color green is often associated with health, nature, sustainability. So it makes sense that renewable energy is related to the color that embodies nature. How does green energy works? Is as a source of energy, green energy often comes from renewable energy technologies such as solar energy, wind power, geothermal energy, biomass, and hydroelectric power. Each of these technologies work in different ways, whether that is by taking power from the sun, as with the solar panels, or using wind turbines or the flow of water to generate energy. Types of green energy. Solar power. This common renewable green energy source is usually produced using photovoltaic cells that capture sunlight and turn into electricity. Next is wind power, particularly suited to offshore and higher altitude sites. Wind energy uses the power of the flow of air around the world to push turbines that can generate electricity. Next, hydropower, also known as hydroelectric power. This type of energy uses the flow of water in rivers, streams, dams, or elsewhere to produce energy. Geothermal energy. This type of green power uses thermal energy that has been stored just under the Earth's crust. While these resources requires drilling to access, thereby calling the environmental impact into question. It is a huge resource once tapped into. Biomass. Biomass. Power plants use wood waste, sawdust, and combustible organic agriculture waste to create energy. The final one is biofuels. Rather than burning biomass as mentioned above, these organic materials can be transformed into fuel such as ethanol and biodiesel. Why green energy is important? Green energy is important for the environment as it replaces the negative effects of fossil fuels with more environmentally friendly alternatives. Derived from natural resources, green energy is also often renewable and clean, meaning that they emit no or few greenhouse gases and are often readily available. Even when the full life cycle of a green energy source is taken into consideration, they release far less greenhouse gases than fossil fuels, as well as few or low levels of air pollutants. This is not just good for the planet, but it is also better for the health of people and animals that have to breathe the air. Next is example of green energy. Heating and cooling in buildings. Green energy solutions are being used for buildings ranging from large office blocks to people's homes. These include solar water heaters, biomass fuel boilers, and direct heat from geothermal, as well as cooling systems powered by renewable resources. Industrial processes. Renewable heat for industrial processes can be run using biomass or renewable electricity. The final one is transport. Sustainable biofuels and renewable electricity are growing in use for transportation across multiple industry sectors. Example of industries that uses green energy is Intel. Each year, Intel uses around 3 billion kilowatt power with the company drawing its energy from wind, solar, hydro and biomass. Their commitment, their commitment to going green comes with the installation of 3 million square feet of solar panels at sites in 9 countries. Another industry is Apple. All Apple retail stores, offices and data centers are running on 100% renewable energy. Now let's come to advantages of using green energy are fuel supply that never runs out, unlike the mining of coal, oil, and natural gas, which requires extensive networks of heavy machinery, processing stations, pipelines, and transportation. Renewables convert natural resources directly into electricity. Second one is zero carbon emission. The most significant benefit of renewable energy is that there are no greenhouse gases or other pollutants created during the process. Third one is cleaner air and water. Burning fossil fuels to generate electricity does far more than warm the climate. It also contaminates the air we breathe and the water we drink. The fourth one is cheaper form of electricity. With the rapid growth of renewable energy, over the last 10 years, solar and wind power are now the cheapest sources of electricity in many parts of the world. Now, The final one is the disadvantages of using green energy. Uh, the electricity generation capacity is still not large enough. There are still challenges to the generation of large quantities of power in renewable energy technology compared to traditional forms of energy generation like fossil fuels. Renewable energy can be unreliable. Renewable energy technology totally depend on the weather to be able to harness any energy. In case atmospheric conditions are not good enough, renewable energy technologies will lack the ability to generate any electricity. The third one is requires a huge upfront capital outlay. Setting up renewable energy generation facilities requires a huge financial outlay. The installation of wind turbines, solar panels, and hydroelectricity plants is relatively expensive. The fourth disadvantage is energy storage is a challenge. Due to the intermittent nature of renewables, they need forms of energy storage to capture and release electricity in a consistent and controlled way. Thank you.